Hello, hello. Welcome to Handmade by Julia Quinn. I'm sharing with you today my beautiful blue card featuring the Retiring Seize the Day bundle, which includes the stamp set, which has 11 great images, and 10-piece die set, including a really lovely diorama frame. Excuse me, sorry. I really love fishy things, so I always buy the sea-themed projects. And so I had a lot of fun making this, and I thought I'd share it with you. I just want to show you it in the catalogue for you so that you can see the great bundle on page 38. Just here. So here it is here, this great bundle. It is heavily reduced at the moment because it's retiring at the end of this month. So if you love this bundle, you'll have to get it very shortly before it sells out. And you can see in the catalogue there's some great projects featuring that gorgeous diorama die from the sea dies. Okay, so my card is a Z fold, which is actually one of my favourite folds. I use it a lot, and I love the way that the fish look like they're swimming in the sea when you stand it up. All right, so I've started off, and I'm also using lots and lots of blues. I've started off Balmy Blue as my card base, and it is the full length of our cardstock, and then scored at 15 and 22, so that when you fold it back, that folds exactly in half, and then this piece for the top is exactly the same score lines, so the same score lines there, but when you put it onto your card, you Z fold it in the opposite direction. Now I already have, look, I'm dropping bubbles everywhere, die cut the top of my Z fold here using the top of this diorama die. Okay, so I've just used the top to create the bubbly top of the card. All right, just pop that out of the way. All right, now before I do anything else, I need to create my background so that it looks more like the ocean and the sea, which is what I'm trying to emulate. So the first thing I did was just grab a piece of cardstock and tore the edge, and this is going to be my seabed, and I'm using Tahitian Tide Highland Net, which is one of our new ink colours, and the trusty old blending brush. And just, so that's why I've got a great big piece of scrap paper underneath my project today. I'm just adding colour really strongly down the bottom, going quite close, and adding lots and lots of ink onto my project there. Okay, and because my ink pad's nice and juicy, it's really inking up really well. And then further along, right to the very edge. And then when you remove your torn edge mask, you end up with this great organic looking seabed. Now I also want to do the piece for the back of my card. I didn't show you the back of my card, did I? Here's the back of my card. I always have something on the back so that you've got an easy panel to write on, rather than attempting to write inside where all the artwork is. So I'll repeat the same strategy and just add my mask and throw on a lot of ink to create that lovely seabed. Okay. And the other thing, there you go, look at that. I love that effect with the torn edge. Doesn't it look great? The other thing I did is also swoosh across my cardstock a bit so it looks like sort of wavy, watery looking lines. Okay, I've also got bits and pieces there, streaky bits, just adding a bit of extra body and interest to my card. Okay, so that's a whole bunch of Tahitian tide. I should leave that open in case I need to stamp one jellyfish on the inside of my card. Just wipe my fingers off that I shoved into the ink pad. Okay, and the jellyfish from the Great Stamp Set. I'm going to put him inside there. Doesn't that look great? I love the delicate tentacles on that jellyfish image. And I think that's all I need to do with the Tahitian tide. Oh, hang on. I have die cut all of my bits and pieces, which you can see here, ready to go. And some of them I've die cut on white cardstock because I want to add just that lovely subtle shade of Tahitian tide on there. And if you stamp on the Tahitian tide, you wouldn't get as great intensity of colour. So, as you know, you may have noticed I didn't even re-ink my blender brush because there's enough ink already on the brush to give me plenty of colour to sponge all over there. There we go. So that's my die cuts ready to go. I'll pop them aside for later on. Alright, Tahitian tide done. And now I'm going to stamp with my Night of Navy. We have an array of amazing blue inks in our Stampin' Up! Collection. I'm going to use Night of Navy for my lovely wafting seaweed. Stamp that along my card base there, and a little bit on my panel for the back of the card. Doesn't that convert? Instantly creates that lovely underwater image with the seagrass. Okay, I think that's everything with the Night of Navy. And then I'm using Pacific Point for my fish and the greeting on the back of my card, which says, wishing you oceans of happiness. So pop that in the middle, and then stamp some fish around the place so it looks all welcoming. And I'm going to, see that splodge there? Camouflage that with a fish. There we go. That's my back panel done. Now some fish here on this one. One down here. Some coming across the bottom there. Maybe one more there. Okay. And then some fish coming from the other direction. These two fish in this stamp set go both directions, which is very cool. Okay. Oops, another fish over the top of my dodgy stamping. And one more up there perhaps. Okay. I think that's most of the background stamping complete. That's my Pacific Point. Now I'm up to assembling all my bits and pieces. So I'm using my other one as my model here. Let me get all my bits and pieces for you. I also have some vellum, which you may not notice on the card quite so much. This is some really lovely printed vellum from our annual catalogue. It comes in this size, which is perfect for a card front. But I've used, again, this lovely diorama die, and just to create that extra dimension of texture and interest for my card. So that's the vellum piece, but I don't want the top because I've already die cut that. So I'm going to trim off, follow this bit of wavy detail around. Let's cut that off there. And then there. There we go. And then for the other side of my card, continue that line there. There we go. So I know it's pretty hard to see. However, I think it adds an extra bit of interest. So I'll just pop out these extra bits here. So that one's going to go on that side there. And I might actually put that on first. And then this one is going to go, any more bits to pop out? Here we are. Another one there. And that one's going to go on this side here, which turns out to be the front of the card. Okay, so just before I do that, I wondering whether I should pop this one on over the top. No, that one goes on first, and then those go on there. So I'll just add some adhesion to this edge of my top panel. This panel is where I'm going to attach all the swimming fish there, and then some for this side. There we go. So I'll add this one over here. There we are. And then this one over here. So because it's exactly the same length as the cardstock, and then I'll just make sure it folds up neatly. Look at that. Blue fingernails from shoving my fingers in the ink pad. There we go. So that's that bit. And then we'll add some seal on the corner of this one. And a couple of mini glue dots. These are from one of our kits left over. Kits are on special this month, and it's great how they have extra adhesion so that you can use it for other projects. There we go. So just take the backs off them. And add that to the front of my card. Over here, alright, in that front bottom corner. There we are. And then this one for this corner down there, and a couple of mini blue dots on my side pieces. There we are. And then that one can come over there. And if you're worried about any of the adhesion showing, that's the perfect place to pop something to cover it up, but actually it doesn't show too much at all, so I'm pretty happy about that. Alright, now I'm going to put this octopus in the garden. Just put some dimensionals on the back of him and weave his tentacles through that vellum. So it looks like he's in there. He's half hiding the fish, but that's okay. And then my other octopus, or squid, whichever he is, should can his tentacles to see. Pop him up under here, peeking out from underneath there. What else have I got to add? My starfish and crab and another jellyfish. I've got quite a few jellyfish to add because I liked it so much. I just thought it looked so cool. Okay, this one can be up in amongst those bits of seaweed. I'll just use a mini glue dot on this starfish. Pop him over here, underneath there. And then the crab down here. There he is. Come out of the seaweed. Alright, it's almost all done. The next bit to create the suspended fish is to use window sheet, which I've just cut into thin strips, very thin strips, and I use mini glue dots on a roll for this. So you just squish a mini glue dot, I'm going to use 2, onto there, and then pop that behind my jellyfish, and then another mini glue dot for the top, and I can hang that up there, and then he's suspended from the top of the card. Okay, and now for the fish, because I wanted them to be visible from both sides, I actually put the fish back to back, so like that, and that way it doesn't matter which way the card is, you'll see the fish. So one hanging like that. Okay, here's another one, and another mini glue dot. That's the beauty of these fish swimming in both directions for the stamps, is that it works perfectly for, okay, there we are, and another one. This one I might trim my strip just a little bit so it can swim a little bit higher. I'll put that one up here near the jellyfish, and you know what I forgot to do, and I'll do it after this, is add some wink of Stella to my fish so that they look like they're swimming in the sea. Okay, and this one again I'm going to trim off a bit off the top and put him right up there. There we go. Oh, one more fish, and that fish can go up the top here with his, oh, there we go, there we go. Okay, so that's all the fun interactive suspension part. It's a very busy ocean, isn't it? Let's adhere the writing panel to the back of the card. And the final touch, some wink of Stella for the fish, just to make them shiny and sparkly. Not sure whether you can see it. I can actually see it shining here, and then all these little fishies, give them a bit of sparkle, swimming in the ocean, shining. There's a proper school of fish. And there we are, complete. That's my fishy, wishing you oceans of happiness, very blue Z fold. There we go. I hope you enjoyed that. Hope you have a go making a beautiful ocean landscape card. It's a bit of fun. So the recipient has the greeting, but they can also display it for all their friends to show. Thanks for joining me. See you next time. Bye-bye.